Welcome to ESPN's Holiday Hoops, presented by Kay Jewelers.
On a Saturday of huge matchups in college basketball, we have another. Here in Cincinnati, the Cintas Center is sold out to watch their number 24 Xavier Musketeers and Drew Lavender take on 12th-ranked Tennessee and Chris Lofton. The A-10 meets the SEC now. You're watching college basketball, presented by Cars.com on ESPN, all part of Holiday Hoops, presented by Kay Jewelers. As we welcome you to Cincinnati on a day of great matchups on ESPN, we have another here at the Cintas Center. Two more ranked teams meet. It's number 24 Xavier and number 12 Tennessee. Hi again, everyone. I'm Bob Wishoes. I'm here with Doug Gottlieb and Tom Brennan. And guys, when you want to build those end-of-season tournament resumes, if you can get a win in a game like this, boy, it is a huge check mark in your column.
Yeah, especially if you're Xavier, a team last year that got into the NCAA tournament based upon out-of-conference wins against Kansas State and Illinois teams.
And Tennessee, interestingly enough, going on the road for 39 days, only one home game in the last 39 days, understanding that the committee wants you to go out and play good teams on the road, and that's exactly what they're doing.
As we take a look at our Star Watch, we have two of the great guards in America. Drew Lavender for Xavier.
Yeah, America kind of forgot about Drew Lavender, McDonald's.
And Chris Lofton for Tennessee took 23s in one game. Is that my kind of coach that he's playing for or not?
Let's take a look at this afternoon's starting lineups. Presented by Samsung Mobile. We start with the Vols. And in the front court, Tyler Smith, coach, has been an impact player.
Interesting. Transfer from Iowa. He's taken over for Dane Bradshaw. Bradshaw was a guy that could always find Lofton. Now Smith has 37 assists and only 17 turnovers. Taken right up where Bradshaw left off.
And Doug, for Xavier, Derek Brown for basketball, and Derek Brown, over 50% of his career field goals have been dunks. The average is 11 points per game, and if you dunk the ball half the time, that's why your shooting percentage is at 61%.
I just don't understand why Jordan Powell doesn't wear number 3. Then they'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
We're underway. The opening tip tapped around, and finally Brown looks to corral it, goes to the deck. That's a quick possession arrow change.
There you go.
What an entertaining time we had yesterday at practice with Bruce Pearl in his third year, and he at Tennessee has been as impactful a head coach as there may be in the SEC.
I said to him, what's the biggest difference between the mid-level and the big time? He said the money. I'm 47 years old. I've been poor for 45 years. I've been rich for 2 years, and I much prefer it.
Sean Miller has done the same at Xavier. Do-over.
Yeah, do-over. How about that?
It was a long conference, turns into a do-over, and Josh Duncan has it carom off his hand, thrown off his hand by Tyler Smith, and Josh Duncan is very important for Xavier as well. He has a bruised knee, was not supposed to get the start today, but worked out, I think, more effectively than they expected yesterday.
Yeah, we saw him in practice, Bob. He played very, very well yesterday. There was no doubt in my mind he was going to play. I just didn't know how much.
To the corner, sets up Chisholm, and Wayne Chisholm knocks down a triple, and the Vols on the board first.
Drive, draw, and dish.
Well, it looks really good when they hit the shot, doesn't it?
You got it.
Now, Tennessee is a one-trap press team. They'll try and just press you on the inbounds. They don't get a turnover. They're back into their man-to-man, occasionally zone.
Lavender penetrates and is grabbed on the arm. It looks
space. Give him space. Use his length as his strength.
They actually gave the foul to Wayne Chisholm, but a turnover created by Jawan Smith.
Look at this atmosphere. This is like a Cincinnati game, or well, you're a Tennessee fan, like a Florida or a Kentucky game. Not an empty seat in the house.
And something we'll have to watch all afternoon, the scenario we just saw. Xavier needs to find a way to get the ball in bounds against this Tennessee team. From deep, it's Lofton. Got another.
Trying one.
2 threes to start the game for the Vols. Into the post it goes to Duncan. Duncan one-on-one across the lane, and Chisholm may have gotten a piece. He actually may have gotten a piece of the elbow. A deflection, and it comes to Josh Duncan.
Just a poor pass there. He had a wide-open layup.
Lavender gets Xavier on the board.
TV makes a great point. You have a surefire dunk if you throw the ball to the rim for Chisholm. You don't get a turnover, and Lavender makes you pay a 4-point swing. You had the crowd completely out of the game before that.
Down to 13 on the shot clock as Lofton creates some space. Wow. Hangs and hits. Plus the foul. Lofton with a chance for a three-point play. Boy, every time Chris Lofton makes a move like that, this must be a dagger to every Kentucky, Louisville, Cincinnati, and Xavier fan.
Well, that's Josh Duncan, though. Josh Duncan did not cut off the water of Chris Lofton. He was able to turn the corner and get in the lane, and this is where he's improved. The ability to put the ball on the deck and create. He's no longer simply a jump shooter.
And this is the last thing that Xavier wanted, was the Tennessee come sprinting out here like they have.
Chris Lofton grew up only about 60 miles away from Cincinnati. He wanted to play for Kentucky. He would have gone to Louisville. He said he was waiting for Cincinnati to offer him a scholarship. No one did. And he ends up at Tennessee. And his folks made the drive up 60 miles away. They actually loaded a bus up and came with a group of Vols fans to root on Chris Lofton. But it was funny talking to Sean Miller yesterday. He was in a recruiting position, not yet the head coach at Xavier when Lofton was in high school. And I said, you know, Chris Lofton. And he immediately knew what I was going to ask. He said, yeah, count me in on that too. I missed him.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
A foul called against Tennessee.
Never hurts when you can shoot the basketball.
And great block out by Howell there. Wonderful job.
And boy, can Tennessee shoot the basketball, as can Chris Lofton.
Anytime your name's above Allen Houston in any category shooting the basketball, you're in pretty good shape. Tennessee looks sharp in their execution earlier.
They sure do.
Smith fades away, comes up short. Jawan Smith's miss falls to B.J. Raymond.
It's very important that Lavender doesn't make mistakes in these situations. If he can't get to the rim, get him in their offense and get something going.
B.J. Raymond with a little size advantage over Howell, shoots over him, and the running shot goes down. Lofton in the lane, forces one up, can't get the roll, skying for the rebound, Derek Brown. Lavender has Chisholm caught on a switch. Here's a mismatch. What does Lavender do? He shoots the three. And it's tapped out to Lofton.
Could have moved in a couple more steps there if he wanted to.
Can't get on the ride at Disneyland. How's he going to move in a couple steps and shoot over that big guy?
Chisholm lays it in easily as Raymond flopped and the officials weren't buying.
When they give you the hands up signal, you know you're not getting the call.
Well, the pace of play, feverish to start the game, 4 minutes in. And already we've got 6 players at the scoring table set to check in. Duncan lost it. Taken away by Chisholm.
And TB's got a sub coming in for him as well in the next break.
That's it. My contract only calls for 4 minutes at a time.
Apparently the Vermont contract transferred to ESPN.
Quality of life, my friend. Quality of life.
Midway through the shot clock. And it's down now to 11. Howell out near midcourt with 8 to shoot. From way outside, a 3 rims out from Ryan Childress.
Brown did a great job defensively there. Heads way out and made Childress shoot the shot.
Burrell creates space. Another flop not bought. Misses the weak side putback by Derek Brown.
And that's Derek Brown at his best. Knowing that the weak side carom is going to come to him. He has such long arms, yet he catches it, keeps the ball high, and finishes.
Childress with the basketball, also a local product from right here in Cincinnati. His teammate at Moeller High School was Josh Duncan. Chisholm forces, blocked by Duncan, and recovered on the baseline.
Tennessee came out looking so sharp. Now they look like they're a little bit tired, not nearly as sharp of execution. Also credit Xavier's defense. Oh.
A nice step back, closing down the passing lane, Wayne Chisholm.
Throw it to the rim. Got the best sleeper in the building. Throw it to the rim. Get those bounce passes.
And a timeout called. 14:26 to go in the first half. Tennessee with the early 5-point lead.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Cars.com. Find the right car for you, Cars.com. And in part by Phillips Norelco. Phillips, sense and simplicity.
At Skyline Chili, the breakfast of champions. That is low-cal right there.
I don't think they've really been very effective at it so far. I don't know whether they're respecting Lavender a little too much, but they haven't really done much on the pressure thus far.
You know, I think they're kind of a parlay team. By that I mean they get a couple buckets going, they try and parlay it, and then use the pressure, and then crank it up at specific instances.
Right.
They thrive off getting steals off of inbounds passes, and whether it's underneath, on the side, or wherever, and here's that trap. The problem is you got little 24, he gets the basketball, now you get transition.
Lavender on the wing. Burrell penetrates, poked away from behind. As Pete Prince, Brian Williams both on the floor, along with Ramar Smith now for Tennessee.
We saw yesterday, Bob, how much they worked, did Xavier, on getting the ball in bounds, even under their own basket.
What defending inbounds plays?
I think they work at it. I think that's really the thing. It's really a big part of their scheme.
Well, you're good at what you work at, and they're very quick, very athletic, and well coached at those specific things they work at. Just like I think Xavier's very good at scoring off those inbounds plays because they have a good passer like Lavender. The only problem is Tennessee's trying to expose the fact that he's only 5'7".
Burrell has it poked away at midcourt by J.P. Prince. And the cousin of Tayshaun Prince gets an easy pair.
Transfer from Arizona, who's back home.
Jason Love trying to post up. It's knocked away with 20 on
Lavender's hands and allow him to create some offense off of ball screens, off of penetration. They look a little bit stagnant when they're trying to create for themselves.
C.J. Anderson swoops in and scores. The transfer from Manhattan with his first two.
There's your mid-major player right there, my boy.
No, he was tremendous at Manhattan. That's what he does best. Now, Tennessee has to keep him outlined, make him shoot jump shots. He gets inside 15 feet. He's deadly.
J.P. Prince with the lob, and Tyler Smith with the finish. How pretty was that?
Great feed.
Seven minutes gone by as Duncan tries a three. Offensive rebound for Love, lost it, taken away by Juwan Smith. He finds Prince, transition hoop for Tennessee, and their lead is up to 9.
And Prince has got it going on, 2 buckets and an assist in about a minute and a half. You know what they say, self-confidence is a great gift, and the nice thing about it, you give it to yourself.
Anderson's pass deflected. Ramar Smith not only deflected the pass on a run out, leaves for Prince, who converts. What a start for Tennessee. And a timeout is coming for Xavier. 30-second timeout called by Sean Miller. 12:21 to go in the first, and it's a double-digit lead for the Vols.
All right.
A double figures lead for Tennessee, 19-8, as we're back here at Xavier. And it's a great start for Tennessee offensively.
Just a classic back cut. This is a called play from Bruce Pearl. Watch Tyler Smith. One step up, little back cut to the basket, the alley-oop. Thank you very much. And then in transition, watch the Vols. Not only they get the ball out, but you have 4 Vols running. Ramar Smith finds J.P. Prince. And Tennessee is not just good at turning you over, gentlemen. They're good at making you pay for those turnovers.
Maybe J.P. is, maybe Tayshaun is his cousin, huh? Maybe he's not Tayshaun's cousin.
Holiday Hoops, presented by K Jewelers, continues on ESPN.
Without him, as it turns out. That's what you were talking about, Doug, where they're trying to parlay it here. They've had a couple baskets. Now they're pressuring full court here.
They drop off, and let's see if they pick up man. Well, you know, Texas is the only team to beat Tennessee, and they thumped them. And what Texas is able to do is, a lot like Xavier's trying to, use DJ Augustine, but for my money, the best pure point guard in the country, to control and dictate the entire game.
As B.J. Raymond hits a three, and that's a big shot early for Xavier.
Sure is.
Lofton tries one at the other end, comes up way short.
Bad shot.
The loose ball, though, corralled by Williams. Lofton is not shy.
No, and and that's why it's not a real big thing to be down 8-10 points because they're just going to shoot you maybe right back into the game. They're not going to stop.
Foul called on B.J. Raymond. An 8-point lead for Bruce Pearl's Tennessee team. Good matchups on Christmas Day as LeBron James trying to get Cleveland back on track. It's been a terrible first half of the season, or first quarter of the season for Miami as well.
Yeah, indeed, no doubt about it.
Well, simple look at how Xavier gets their last three-point shot.
As soon as they say that, I always stop listening as a coach. So.
Prince fades away in the lane. In and out. Offensive rebound, but a foul is called. It looks as if they have Brian Williams.
And here's where we see the value of Drew Lavender. Out of the game, can Xavier continue to break the pressure?
Burrell gets caught in the air for a moment, and Love with a kick out. Almost a giveaway, as Ramar Smith just about knocked it away from Burrell. Lost.
No doubt about it. Offense, that speaks for itself, of course.
Underneath Brown, tried to dunk it down and was fouled. So Derek Brown will go to the free throw line.
Hindered by this much attention when I was coaching, I'd have never lost. Got a crowd into it.
And Williams now on the bench with 2 personal fouls. Chisholm no good from 3. A rebound pulled down by C.J. Anderson.
And that's exactly what I talked about. Not a shot you would really think that they would want to take at that point, especially with Xavier grabbing a little bit of momentum now.
Lavender back in the game now. And Brown travel. Obviously have some solid wins to begin. They've beaten Temple, West Virginia, Western Kentucky, but they are without Duke Cruz. He is out indefinitely with a heart condition that was discovered when an echocardiogram was given to him, as it is given to every Tennessee athlete free of charge by the Volunteers. And right now he is being held out of all practices and games. The lower portion of his heart muscle is just not pumping enough blood when Duke Cruz goes into any type of athletic activity. Basically, his heart pumps the same amount of blood when he is doing something athletic as it pumps when he is not. And they are right now studying him and trying to figure out exactly what the problem is.
Yeah, they think he's going to be okay. And the fact is, when you get 106,000 people at a football game and 21 at a basketball game, you can give everything free of charge.
And there's Cruz, as he obviously is waiting it out and trying, he thinks, to get back this season and play once again.
I talked to him earlier, just before the game started. He's very optimistic that things are going to go well and he'll be back hopefully in not a real short time frame, but a couple weeks maybe.
It's a big part of the game for Xavier, guys, in that Tennessee has hit a spot here where they're not playing well offensively.
Exactly.
A rejection by Chisholm as he just picked up the second personal foul.
And by not playing well, it's that they're not executing, and they've taken about 4 poor shots, 4 untimely shots. That when you're up 20, you can try a 3. But between Chisholm, Lofton, J.P. Prince taking that fadeaway, now all of a sudden they become stagnant offensively. They're stuck on 19 and 21. Can Xavier get back into this game, get back on the right side of the league?
A warning was just issued to Sean Miller about the coaching box, which is a point of emphasis this season. So the warning was given to Bruce Pearl. And if that's the 7th here in the first half against the Vols, so it's a 1-and-1 for C.J. Anderson. This is a long time to be shooting free throws in the first half. They are now in the penalty with 9:54 to go for Xavier. And you don't often see that on a free throw over the backboard.
You don't often see that. Hey, I'll say that one of the understated things about having transfers is not only are you got a guy like C.J. Anderson who scored a bunch of points at Manhattan, but you have older players. Lavender 23, Anderson in his early 20s. You get older players against the youth of the Tennessee team.
To kick out Jawan Smith for 3, no good. And Anderson the rebound. Here comes Lavender. Duncan thought about it for a moment and thought better of it.
Good decision, you're exactly right. Thought better of it indeed.
Anderson instead drives, can't get the roll, and the rebound to Chris Lofton.
Stanley Burrell, you see number 34 in the gray in a defensive stance against Chris Lofton. He did a tremendous job. Xavier's big win of the year over Indiana, and he essentially shut down Eric Gordon in a neutral site matchup in Chicago.
Got a 10 on the shot clock. Launching one, Jordan Howell. A bad shot. Run down, though, by Juwan Smith. Smith's got the fresh shot clock. Forget about it. Just takes it to the basket and draws another foul.
One thing you don't need in a Tennessee practice is a shot clock. That's for darn sure.
Xavier foul number 11.
Well, when you give up extra possessions defensively, and remember, Tennessee's kind of got you spread out, running all over the floor to cover them. Boy, it really takes your win trying to cover Tennessee, and then you have to run out and cover for an additional maybe 15, 20 seconds. You can't give up those offensive boards.
Breaks your heart. Bruce was saying to us yesterday the idea that they do take a lot of shots that he's not necessarily even comfortable with, but it's just the way they play, and they get on runs, as Doug was saying, and he just kind of lives with it.
DJ Raymond picking up his second personal foul. Chris back in the game as well for the Vols.
Tennessee goes deep into their bench. There's no question about that.
Past the halfway point here in the first half, where Tennessee has led by as many as 11. Love to the bucket.
Number 31, Jason Love. Love for Xavier.
Childress hangs, comes up way short. It goes off the fingertips, though.
Childress penetrating and trying to create his own. That's not, let the offense work for you. Right. Let your teammates work for you. They'll create shots with this offense, with the spacing, and with their athletic ability.
Ramar Smith back in for Jordan Howell. And Ramar Smith has the basketball. Carried it. A turnover and on the Tennessee bench. His Vols, though, on top, 23-16. Welcome back. And you're watching college basketball presented by Cars.com on ESPN. All part of Holiday Hoops presented by K Jewelers. Right now it's Tennessee in control here.
Getting into Ramar Smith and teaching him what he needs to do better. Watch Ramar Smith just puts his hand on the back of the head. It's just a little thing, but so often we see teams and a coach gets onto a player and the player stomps off and waves off the coach. That's not the case. Message still being received by the Vols.
And how about the Vols in the zone here? First time they've played it all year long.
On the baseline, Derek Brown with 10 on the shot clock, a skip pass. Graves penetrates and connects. It's funny, Bruce Pearl told us yesterday.
Probably the last time now.
Well, he said that, you know, teams have been successful at times against Xavier with the zone. He said, I think we've played zone this year about 4 minutes the whole year. That's not their style. Smith, a blocking foul is called, so he will shoot two as Josh Duncan stepped up to try and take the charge.
And that's my own heart.
Open, trying a three, and rimming it in and out was Burrell, but the putback by Jason Love.
And again, tough to block out in a zone. They haven't played very much zone, and it's very evident right now. I don't think they'll play too much more.
Jason Love only averages 3.6 points per game. He already has 4 here in the first half. A whistle away from the ball and a foul call down low against Xavier. That's the 6th team foul against Xavier. Prince penetrates, hangs. Can't get it to go off the glass, and Brown has the rebound.
Back to man for the Vols. This is big.
3. Off the front rim, and the rebound pulled down by Tyler Smith. Nice pass on the baseline, and the flush by J.P. Prince, plus the foul.
And credit Ramar Smith penetrating in the lane and creating for his team. I I actually thought he had the layup. Watch the lane wide open, fellas. Nobody even comes over, slides over to take a charge, but he's not really on balance, makes a beautiful pass. And J.P. Prince, you watch him, he has a ton of offensive gifts and ability. If he can learn to buy in, be grittier and more physical defensively, he has a bright future.
Because I certainly like him on this end, I'll tell you that.
There's another mom and dad combination that came down to watch J.P. Prince play, and that couple went through a very trying time. We mentioned the health issues for Duke Cruz currently taking place. J.P. Prince almost passed away 2 summers ago. He went to have wisdom teeth removed, developed an infection, and was placed in an induced coma for 3 weeks and was on a respirator for 16 days. This is when he was at Arizona. Lavender with the scoop. But he was able to come out of it, and inside of 4 months of having that terrible infection, put him in a coma, he was back on the basketball court by October.
Talk about counting your blessings in this holiday season. Big stop here for Xavier.
Prince penetrates, got another one, rolls it home to stretch the lead. Back up to 28-22. And then a foul.
The ball.
Well, as you see the relocation, here's Prince, great body control. Wow.
Draws the contact and still able to finish.
And Drew Lavender may be small, but watch the creativity around the back. Played very well and kind of fell out of favor. And he's found new life at Xavier. And in talking to the entire Xavier staff, they said the transformation in Drew Lavender from the time he arrived to right now is dramatic. And I think being in a smaller school.
But they missed.
Stanley Burrell and Adrian Graves back on for Xavier as C.J. Anderson and B.J. Raymond sat down, and Xavier has cut the lead to 4.
ISO.
Tyler Smith lays one off, a miss by Brian Williams, and Duncan the rebound.
Lavender really being smart.
Yeah, he's tireless, too. I mean, he's a passer last year. They don't have a great passing club. I called John Pelfrey's game. Arkansas losing to Oklahoma last weekend. He said, look, we just don't have great passers. We have great players, not great passers.
Only 1 of 2 at the line for Love, so it's a 3-point Tennessee lead. Prince, he has been the offense for Tennessee and does it again. A pretty little floater. Does he not look like his cousin?
He sure does, and he's feeling it this first half for sure.
Boy, it's like another version of the same player, that kind of slow, loping, smooth lefty stroke. That was a pretty move. Graves was shut down by Lofton. Now it's Anderson. A block by Williams, but a foul call in the Tennessee bench. Can't believe it.
That's a horrible call.
And that'll be the 3rd foul on Brian Williams. Well, as unhappy as Bruce Pearl was to see that happen at one end, he was certainly happy to see this happen at the other end. It has been an impressive first half off the bench for the sophomore, J.P. Prince.
That's 11 and 12 right there.
And Doug Gottlieb, college basketball presented by Cars.com, all part of Holiday Hoops presented by K Jewelers. And the parents of J.P. Prince, Mary and John, counting their blessings at the holidays. They watch their son have a heck of a first half.
And it's just gut-wrenching, you know, when you're a parent to watch your son play. Nothing easy about it.
He's playing so well, and he's found a spot where he can play in transition. And, you know, he struggled behind the numbers game at Arizona. We talked about the infection that led to him being in a medically induced coma. J.P. Prince was a really talented player out of Memphis, Tennessee. Won 3 state championships in high school. This is a guy who knows how to win, knows how to play, and he's very good in transition. And Tennessee's been running some isolation plays for him in their half-court sets. Look for Bruce Pearl to continue to feed that hot hand.
What an addition a third of the way through your season. Keep in mind, this is only the 3rd game he has played this season for Tennessee. He just became eligible after the transfer. And Graves will be called for the foul. That will put Prince at the line.
And Prince is really feeling it now.
Xavier foul number 2, that's Adrian Graves.
We talked about what transfers mean
And how about Tennessee's doing this without Chris Lofton? He hasn't had a basket since 17:44 of the first half.
The thing, though, he brings, though, and this is a lot like J.J. Redick, and I'm not saying they're the same player, okay? But when you have that type of jump shot, even when you're not hitting, he can stretch the floor and take one man completely out of the defensive side of the basketball, because the respect he has at the college level, you cannot leave him open.
Floats away from Raymond, and an unforced error for Xavier as Duncan is set to come back on.
In front of the drive, good solid position, recovers but still low. Now a lazy pass, you get a possession.
And now he'll probably bang a three in just for fun.
Number 2, Juwan Smith returns for number 30, J.P. Prince.
J.P. Prince now on the bench as Juwan Smith has come back on for Tennessee. So their offense, the Vols, in the last 7 or 8 minutes has been Prince. A lazy pass there, almost floated out of bounds, and then carrying the basketball, door cut, and a pretty feed. Oh! Lavender with the delivery. What a move by Burrell, and he has a chance for a three-point play. Stanley Burrell completes the three-point play, and it's a three-point game once again. With 11 on the shot clock out near midcourt. Tyler Smith and Childress play catch. 4 to shoot. Lofton's going to have to force it up. Does. Can't get the roll. What a great defensive stance by Xavier. Lavender on the far side finds Anderson, and he will go 1-point game with under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Tennessee has led by as many as 11. And the reverse on the alley-oop by J.P. Prince.
Oh, boy!
How about the pass from Juwan Smith? A little jump pass.
From the corner, Duncan. Too strong. Offensive rebound by Love. Lost it out of bounds, and I'm surprised there was not a foul call.
Another great pass by Lavender. Got him wide open. Look at this. Pretty. And that's 14 for Prince.
I love the play call. You know, you're struggling offensively. Let's run alley-oop. Beautiful pass by Juwan Smith.
Prince is 7 of 9 from the field, and Xavier forced to call a timeout. Again, there's that problem. Hard to get the basketball inbounds against Tennessee.
30 times last year they forced teams to call a timeout. 30 times.
All right, Tennessee runs a style of the flex, the Dr. Tom Davis flex. And what they do is they spread you way out in the flex. And the plays they run are counters to how you're going to defend the flex. And that alley-oop was set up because you're reading the play, you're guessing the play. And as roll the play through and Juwan Smith catches the top, the defender's going to go over the top, and because he goes over the top and he's expecting that normal flex cut, the lob is there. You can't cheat the play against Tennessee, because when you cheat on that flex cut, meaning you go over the top, you don't fight through the screen, they'll make you play with an alley-oop.
16 here in the first half for J.P. Prince, 7 of 9 from the field. Again, he's almost equaled what he had in the first 2 games of eligibility for Tennessee. You think some Vols fans are back in Knoxville going, wow, this is a nice change of scenery for J.P. Prince as far as we're concerned.
Where do we find this guy?
Let's see if Xavier can get the ball in bounds. They do. Love slips to the goal, but Prince blocked it from the backside.
Basketball for a long time with all the talent in state, specifically in the town of Memphis.
And they clear to Burrell. Funny, you talk to Bruce Pearl, though, he talks about how untalented he thinks his team is considered. They have no McDonald's All-Americans on their team as Lavender penetrates.
They got a few Whoppers, I'll tell you that.
Burrell for 3. Got it! We're tied at 34. Can Chisholm answer? Oh. He banks it in.
Oh. You got to call those, big boy.
It's loud in here. Maybe he did.
He's got a smile on his face. He's thanking the Lord for that one, that's for sure. That was a big basket. Really big.
Duncan spins. Hit the underside of the rim. Love on the follow. Oh! Follow over the C.J. Anderson.
What a great game this is to watch and call. Place is rocking.
About a 2.5-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock, so Tennessee can wind the first half down. Xavier has never led. Childress rejected. Another chance. Gets it to go. 4 seconds to go in the half. Down to 2 seconds. Anderson launches. Good if it goes. What a first half as Tennessee has a 3-point lead at the break.
I need some water. What a first half from J.P. Prince. Not bringing it at first in the defensive end, but then offensively exploding, and he's demanding more court time.
And 5 points. In the last 5 points, they were lucky to get them all 5 of them, but they got them, and it gives them a 3-point lead.
Tennessee by 3 as we join Carl Ravitch in the studio for our Kay Jewelers halftime report. Carl?
Hi, Bobby. So are we seeing the emergence of a superstar on a Tennessee team that already has some pretty good offensive weapons? This is the Kay Jewelers halftime report, and welcome everybody. We're going to have much more coming up. We'll have Jimmy Dykes and Hubert Davis join me as we get into what has happened so far today. Battle of 2 top 5 teams, and one of them looked like they belonged. Well, for all intents and purposes, since transferring, he's been inactive for about 2 years. Now that he's seeing real game action, J.P. Prince has shown himself to be the king, at least today, with Tennessee leading Xavier 39-36, 16 points already. And this was a kid who was the Tennessee High School Player of the Year a few years back. Went to Arizona, obviously transferred here. Is that the story in the half?
Well, I think it is offensively for Tennessee. They had to have somebody step up because Chris Lofton got off early, and then Xavier did a great job of really shadowing him, locking, trailing him all over the floor, taking Lofton out of the game. The interesting story of this ball game to me, Tennessee's lack of pressing Xavier. I think that's out of great respect for Drew Lavender. Bruce Pearl told me 2 days ago, I'm not sure we can press. He's as good a point guard as we'll face all year.
Yeah, I know J.P. Prince is playing well. He stepped up big against Western Kentucky, and he's playing well here in the first half, and they need that because Chris Lofton is really struggling. You really have to give a hand to Stanley Burrell defensively, doing a terrific job. Lofton started off strong at the beginning of the first half. They need to set some more screens and get him going. This is a guy that can really open up a game.
Very good game so far, 39-36 at the half. There's a lot of games with really good teams, not so good teams. The game we saw earlier featured 2 powerhouses. Let's get to the highlights with Kevin Durant. Xavier hanging tough. Anderson fighting. Tennessee leading by 3 over Xavier, thanks to Mr. Prince. Second half is coming up.
This is college basketball presented by Cars.com here on ESPN. All part of Holiday Hoops presented by Kay Jewelers. What a first half we had as we bring you back to Xavier. Bob Wischusen here with Doug Gottlieb and Tom Brennan. 30-25. Tennessee it's been a back and forth contest between these two teams. And guys, obviously, when you think about kind of the theme of the first half, it was almost one-upsmanship. It was one highlight play after another between these two teams.
Absolutely, and of course, Prince was from 24 to 34. He scored 10 straight for the Volunteers.
It's the use of the dribble, the bounce to get you to the basket, and then some set plays to get Prince off on the offensive end. But there was great athleticism, great energy, and the question is, in a battle of adjustments, can a Xavier team match up with J.P. Prince and make him shoot the ball from the perimeter? Because if they limit J.P. Prince, they've done a nice job on Lofton, they've done a nice job on Jawan Smith, but then they've been unable to shut off the water of J.P. Prince.
And Lofton is 0 for 3 in the last 17.5 minutes.
Nice backdoor.
Burrell gets Xavier off to a good start. And a very pretty pass. Right back to a one-point game. And a chance now with the Lavender rebound for Xavier to take their first lead. And a blocking foul is called. The bucket didn't go for Derek Brown, but he'll go to the line. as Jordan Howell is called for the personal. Let's take a look at some of our first half stats. Certainly J.P. Prince was the star for Tennessee, and balance as is usual for Xavier.
I think this is one of the things when you have a matchup of a player who hasn't played much this season.
Lead of the game for Xavier. They were down by double figures more than once in the first half.
And this place is rocking.
And if you're Tennessee, now you have to get into your offense, show that you can run crisp sets. Very crisp offense like you did the first part of the first half when you raced out to a 19-8 lead.
Lofton hooks one to Chisholm for the throwdown.
That's what I'm talking about. Spread the floor, use your best player, your offensive weapon, Chris Lofton, as a decoy, and hit Chisholm on the roll.
And not pressing at all, Lofton, which is a very key sign. It's interesting, Duncan is much more comfortable out there than he is on the block. That's
0 for 7 though now.
Yeah, hasn't hit one of those yet. Lofton grabbed around the arm by Lavender.
In Tennessee on the screen roll, look at the space created by the offense being completely spread on the weak side of the floor. Lofton, as TB said, not a pig offensively, not looking to take bad shots, hits his teammate rolling to the basket. That's a far better shot than the bank three Chisholm hit at the end of the first half.
That foul was Lavender's first. Lofton tries a three and Lavender the rebound.
As I say, that's probably a questionable fadeaway three.
He's Chris Lofton. He's allowed.
Yeah, that's true. If I had a jump shot like that, I'd shoot every time I got it.
Brown has it slapped away from behind by Chisholm. The crowd wanted a foul, but it seemed to be a clean slap away by Chisholm, and now Lofton penetrates, throws it up reverse style. Can't get it to go, and here comes Duncan.
When he got hit on that, tried to draw in contact, but wasn't enough.
Burrell for three. Got it!
Bruce Pearl in his walkthrough said, when everyone's expecting me to call a timeout, I'm not calling a timeout today. I want you guys to play through this. If you're going to win in the SEC, you got to play through bad stretches.
Jawan Smith throws it back out. 15 on the shot clock for Jordan Howell. He's double teamed. Smith wide open. Off the back rim. The miss from Tyler Smith. Burrell right to the basket. Held on the floor.
Also number 30, J.P. Prince.
Lofton and Chisholm both go back to the bench.
Jordan Howell. Freshman, who's in for number 5, Chris Lofton.
Ryan Williams has come back on for Tennessee, and J.P. Prince back in the game.
That was really a good play by Raymond. He held the man off and
On the bench, and he has not hit a shot since the first 3 minutes. Anderson. Duncan thought about it. Now a pull-up. Finally gets a field goal to drop through.
So much better, you know, so much better. And that's a senior. Yeah. 0 for 7, 5 3-pointers of that 0 for 7 for that shot. Could have had a 3, pump fake, 2 dribble, pull up, mid-range 15-footer.
The ball knocked away. It will stay with Tennessee.
Boy, does Tennessee look out of sync
they
offensively.
sure do. It's like they're still in the locker room.
Remember, this is a team that led Ohio State last year in the NCAA tournament by 17 at the half and lost that game. This is a team that plays with great energy, great spurts, but they're also susceptible to those other side of the spurts. Should be noted, Bruce Pearl has won more than 20 games every year in his coaching career. That's amazing considering he took over a Division II program at Southern Indiana, immediately won 20 games.
Yeah, he can really coach. There's no question about that. Plus, he's a player's coach. It's obvious.
Smith turns it over. Jawan Smith carried the ball once again. The last time he did that, before he got there, they were 29 and 35 in the SEC. In his first 2 years, they're 22 and 14, 8 games above 500. And they get the deflection and the steal. Here comes Prince. Spinning and scoring. Man, oh man.
Lavender defended that beautifully, and he still finished.
I mean, we talked about passing you just can't teach. You can't teach that type of athleticism and agility in transition. Wow.
Offensive foul called on C.J. Anderson.
And who's that with the charge, TB? I mean, this is good defense. Now, I mean, part of it is Drew Lavender's small and he missed on the swipe, but that's just a beautiful move. Then Prince on the defensive end takes a charge. The coming out party. Hello world, I'm JP Prince.
Returns for number 15, Jordan Howe, and number 34, Ryan Childress for number 1, Tyler Smith.
Tyler Smith sits down as Childress comes back on. Ramar Smith has come on as well as Jordan Howe sits down. Prince for three. Off the front rim, and Love has the rebound. The outlet stolen, though, and launched by Lofton. High above the rim on the weak side to tap it home was Ramar Smith.
I mean, that's the point guard with the 10 minutes.
They got too many Smiths on that team. How you going to beat them?
It is a play-by-play guy's dream. Every play is made by Smith. You can't be wrong.
And the momentum is going right back toward Tennessee now.
Burrell can't answer. Stays with Xavier with 15:34 to go in regulation time. It's the point guard, Ramar Smith, on the weak side above the rim to tap it home. And the Vols and Xavier tied at 45. Come back to the Cintas Center, where it has been emotion-packed all afternoon. Bruce Pearl had his team up by double figures in the first half. Xavier came all the way back to take the lead. And we've got a brand new ball game with 15:34 remaining. And this building was filling up well before the tip this afternoon. 15 and a half minutes to go in regulation time. Bob Wischusen with Tom Brennan and Doug Gottlieb. Holiday Hoops presented by K Jewelers. And C.J. Anderson breaks the tie. A strong move on the baseline.
Anderson for Xavier.
Lofton penetrates. Can't finesse it off the glass. Anderson has the rebound.
What a handle the ball.
They got Anderson in a mismatch with Lofton.
Yeah.
He wants that basketball.
Anderson had him posted, and they missed him, but now they got him. Good help by Prince. Great help.
Lavender for three. Off the side rim. Love the offensive rebound and the stick back.
Hey, Love has been terrific, not just at catching and keeping it high, but reading the basketball and getting the carom on the weak side.
Sean Miller told us that Jason Love is getting better faster than anyone on his team.
Wow, nice pass.
Williams rejected from behind by Love. He threw it off the backboard.
Oh, bad place to give it to him.
Here comes Ramar Smith. Gets it to go.
Really a tough finish by Smith.
What a game. Xavier by 2. Duncan one-on-one against Childress. That's high school teammate against high school teammate. They both went to Moeller here in Cincinnati.
What has allowed Tennessee to prosper here? They're in their half-court offense now, but they are 15-2 on fast break points over Xavier.
Down to 9 on the shot clock. Williams with a kick out. Prince has it, looks up and sees there's 4 to shoot. Takes it to the basket. Childress the offensive rebound, and he goes over his high school teammate. Josh Duncan called for the foul, and Childress with a chance for a three-point play.
Right back at you.
Well, Moeller High School is a local powerhouse here in Cincinnati. An impressive collection of players, especially back in 2004, 2005. How about it? Ryan Childress is one. Duncan was just called for the foul, and there they are.
It is.
In the back of the team picture. There's also Andrew Blackman in that picture, plays for NC State, or played for NC State. Bubba Walters at Ohio University. Tyler Durkers from Miami of Ohio. They
Name from Notre Dame,
yes.
Former head coach.
Jerry Faust. I was at a dinner with Faust. He said he just prayed to God that he would get the Notre Dame job. I said, I was talking to God for 6 years. He never returned my calls.
Childress the rejection. And it's run down by Ramar Smith. And then he walks. Jawan Smith, pardon me, travels in the corner, pressured by Burrell.
And you would have said this game. You got to be a man to be playing in this game today.
Derek Brown's back in as Jason Love sits down. Love's tired. He normally doesn't play this kind of minutes. He's earned his way onto the court, but now he needs a break.
I think he's a lot more effective because Duke Cruz isn't in the game for Tennessee. Had him on the lob.
Tennessee playing stifling defense right here, including Prince.
Burrell for three. Got it! The largest lead for Xavier, up to 5. Childress to the goal. Count the basket, plus the foul.
Great move, the right call, and just a tremendous, tremendous play by Childress.
Burrell called for the personal.
Watching Brown. He goes for the steal, reaches, doesn't have a shot, and opens up his defense. Completely opens up his defense. If you're going to run through and you're Derek Brown, you better get a steal.
Well, while we were showing you those replays, Sean Miller picked up a technical foul. And I'm not sure, could he have been that angry about that call? It seemed pretty obvious that that was a blocking call.
You know what? You lose your mind once in a while when you're in this business. There's no doubt about that. You're so into the game. But really, that was not a controversial call.
I like that. Once in a while, you lose your mind. Once in a while, I think you regain sanity, clarity.
I can only speak for myself in those situations, but I'm...
This has a chance to be a 5-point trip. Yeah. As now Childress will step to the line to try and complete this 3-point play.
Yeah, that's a good call. I don't... Yeah. It had to be the buildup of something else. I just can't see Sean Miller, a guy who's a point guard and a very good one at Pitt, getting that miffed over one call. I mean, it's been a really physical game, and in truth, Bruce Pearl has towed that line of getting teased himself.
Yep. Yes, he has. This one's real important for both teams.
Offensive rebound for Prince off the miss. This could be a 6-point trip, maybe a 7-point trip. And it rolls out of bounds. It'll go over to Xavier as Childress went right through the bench.
And that was a big trip. It was 54-49 when we started, and now it's 54-53.
C.J. Anderson to the Xavier bench as Drew Lavender is back on for the Muskies. Tough spot to try and inbound the ball, done pretty easily by Raymond.
Tennessee's really been ineffective with any sort of full court pressure.
Absolutely, they have, and it's their staple.
Straight away, Duncan for another 3. Can't get the roll, but the dunk followed by Derek Brown.
Oh, my goodness.
Timeout called by Bruce Pearl.
That's that coach's box, which is right here. There's not a lot of space in the Cintas Center as far as room to roam, and I believe that was the reason behind the technical foul, was where he was standing. Oh, in the place at the opposite of the floor, that seems kind of like a nickel dime.
Yeah. And that'll keep you on your toes if you're an official. The boss is here.
Al hands off. Tyler Smith for 3. Brown the rebound.
Tennessee from 3.
Drew Lavender pulls up, in and out. Offensive rebound by Duncan, tapped away. It's loose out near midcourt, and Lofton has it. For 3, it's Howell. He's got it. Jordan Howell with a deep triple. And we are tied at 56.
Trying to post up Lofton.
And now we're tied at 56.
Beginning of a great relationship.
Click this season. So much talent, so many expectations.
And it's a big deal to play at home. Just such a big deal.
Burrell can't get it to go. The rebound tapped around and eventually rolls out to Chris Lofton. In transition, a wild shot thrown up by Tyler Smith. Bruce Pearl and the entire Tennessee bench thought a foul should have been called.
They got a beef on that one. That was a foul.
Duncan for three. Still can't get a three to go, and here comes Lofton the other way. Crosses over. Score the goal for Chris Lofton.
Chris Lofton never gets shook. That's one reason you love him. Just goes about his business and keeps on trucking.
Chris Lofton went nearly 28 minutes without scoring. Finally, his first basket since the first 3 minutes.
But as Doug mentioned, playing hard every second, guarding, doing everything he can, passing the ball.
Burrell, offensive foul call. Wayne Chisholm took the charge.
So you don't get too bent out of shape with one call. Eventually, it may come back to help you.
Personal foul, 16 foul.
Good call.
Second foul is called against Burrell, and he goes to the bench, as does Josh Duncan. Jason Love is back in.
One thing with big Brian Williams sitting a ball screen right now on Lofton.
The backdoor cut and the reversal for Juwan Smith.
And a great pass by Tyler Smith, a la Dane Bradshaw.
See if Williams can rebound and defend.
This is a very important time for Xavier now because Tennessee has re-gripped the momentum, and Xavier needs to come up with some good plays in the next couple of possessions.
So only 2 timeouts now left for Sean Miller.
Here's what you screen over here. You're taking all the help away, and then get your little backdoor Tyler Smith, the bounce pass. Keeps it nice and high and tight. But using Lofton as a decoy. Again, Chris Lofton doesn't have to hit shots because you not only take his man out, you also take anyone else who's around Chris Lofton thinking, all right, if my man screens for Lofton, I better be in help because if he hits a three, coach is going to wring my neck and take me out of the game.
And Tom, we spent time with Bruce Pearl, as you said yesterday at practice, and him describing his team, it really is funny. They have no McDonald's All-Americans. Chris Lofton wasn't recruited by anyone where he wanted to play. He wanted to go to Kentucky, would have gone to Louisville, would have come to Cincinnati. He's only from about 60 miles away from here, ends up at Tennessee. Juwan Smith wasn't basically recruited anywhere. He called his team the land of misfit toys, and yet here they are, 12th best in the nation.
He coaches them up. He doesn't care one thing about what other people think about him, but he cares about what the Tennessee people think, and more importantly, the Tennessee players.
Should be noted that you know, a guy like Tyler Smith was very, very heavily recruited.
Yeah, and they had a beef because he wouldn't let him out of his scholarship, right? Made him go to prep school.
Coming up on 9 minutes to go. And Xavier again find themselves behind. 7 on the shot clock. Raymond for 3. Too strong. Anderson taps it around, and it's taken away by Lofton.
Heady, just a heady player, Chris Lofton.
Lofton lost the dribble. Goes to the deck and somehow finds Smith, who wraps it behind his back to no one. Oh, what a terrible play by Juwan Smith, just giving the basketball away.
Slap him back in the head again. My fault. My bad.
My bad. Yeah, we're aware, Juwan. We're aware. Chris Lofton
has been wondering, why did I get on the floor to try and save that possession as Burrell knocks down a 3, and it's a 1-point game.
To start the first half, Burrell ran that same play and backdoored. Now he fakes the backdoor, comes off the handoff. It's a counter to the very play that Xavier got off to a hot start in the first half with.
Tyler Smith across the lane, crowd looking for steps. Misses the shot, and eventually the loose ball is corralled by Derek Brown. Lavender reverses. Offensive rebound and a tie-up. No, Love draws the foul.
The second half, as Xavier, wanting to get into their offense, runs a beautiful backdoor play for Stanley Burrell. As they run it for Burrell,
1-point game.
Isn't that the danger that Bruce Pearl runs, though, the way that they play? 44% of Tennessee's field goal attempts this season are threes. So that's kind of, you live by it and you die by it.
That's absolutely right. And they're not all textbook, that's for sure.
Or we had our point guard dribble around and shoot a 30-footer.
You and Phil Jackson had a lot in common, didn't you?
I never said I was no Dean Smith.
A steal. Anderson spins away and converts.
Ready, go.
A 7-point turnaround from a 4-point lead for Tennessee a moment ago. Prince for 3. knocks it down. A quick timeout called by Tennessee.
C.J. Anderson, a lot like J.P. Prince early in the second half. Anything driving to the basket. Now he says, all right, you lay off me? Fine.
And that's 21 for Prince. He's really been the difference.
He had 21 points combined in the first 2 games he played this year for Tennessee. He's now got 21 this afternoon. This is the 4th time we're tied.
And it's amazing, and you can attribute to Tennessee the fact that they're in a very hostile environment, and Xavier is just grabbing them by the neck over and over and over again, and they just won't go down. They won't go away, as signified by Prince's deep 3 right there.
Well, Bruce Pearl talked about playing in here this afternoon at practice yesterday. He said, you know, if we can win this game, let's think about it. How many teams are going to win in this building this year?
Not very many.
Cintas Center has been the site of 14 straight home wins for Xavier. And a deflection and a steal off the inbound.
Oh, nice
look, and the reverse by Tyler Smith.
Smith from Smith.
And see what Bruce Pearl did? Score a bucket, call a timeout, set up our press, try and get a steal. Remember, they stat how many steals they get from out-of-bounds play.
Brown drives, lost it on the way up, and a foul call.
So drafted in the NBA after being Player of the Year in college basketball. He actually worked out, negotiated a money deal where he could stay on campus in his dorm until school began because he just loved working out at the facility and training here at Xavier.
Tyler Smith is now on the bench for Tennessee. He was called for that last foul, and now he has 4.
Imagine that, the freshmen are bringing in their couches, and you're just moving out, getting ready to go to the NBA. Most guys just try and split, get out of town as soon as the last game's played.
5 on the shot clock. Childress can't get it to go. The tip won't go as well. Brown has the rebound. A chance for Xavier to take the lead back.
Up to the pick and pop 3.
On the shot clock. Duncan thought about it. Instead puts it on the floor with 8 to shoot. Muscles his way up and in.
Pretty shot. Duncan is going to have to be effective on the block for Xavier to be real good.
Prince lost it, and a foul call. DJ Raymond got him on the wrist, so Prince will go to the line.
Let's go back to that last Josh Duncan basket. Look, he has a reputation. Mid-range jump shots, use your size to be effective. You're going to improve in the scouting report's eyes as well as your own coach's eyes.
We're tied again with 5.5 minutes to go. And again, the backcourt pressure causing a timeout. Bruce Pearl thought that a 5-second call had been made.
The coach, Sean Miller, called a timeout from backcourt, and that was acknowledged by the referee.
So Xavier dodges a bullet. They hold on to the basketball, and Holiday Hoops, presented by K Jewelers, continues tonight.
Nobody even knows him.
And, you know, Michigan State going in and beat BYU at Salt Lake City was a really impressive win. BYU's a good, well-respected basketball team. Of course, Tennessee's only loss, Texas.
Well, Xavier can't get the ball to Lavender. It's knocked away, stolen, thrown in the front court. Burrell takes it back. Burrell throws up a wild shot. Foul on the floor. And Doug Gottlieb and the rest of our ESPN crew. And Xavier trailed by double figures a couple of times in the first half.
But they're 18 for 21 from the foul line, Bob, and that really makes a difference.
Prince has been the hero for Tennessee. He can't get that jump shot to fall, though, and another rebound. Pulled down by Derek Brown.
Now, Bruce Pearl's clapping. I thought that was a bit of a questionable shot.
Yeah. And a technical foul has been called on Bruce Pearl.
That is awful. Just awful. Absolutely awful.
I agree with you.
For stepping across the coach's box line. Bruce Pearl was not in any way arguing with the officials. His feet were basically on the coach's box hash mark.
They got to calm him down now, though. It's already been done. They got to calm him down.
So Burrell will shoot free throws after a technical foul was called. Remember, Bruce Pearl was given a warning earlier in the game, so the next time that they judge that he steps out of the coach's box, it's a technical foul, and watch his feet go across the line. There it is.
All he's doing is telling his team to get in a defensive stance. There's a logic behind the rule that makes sense, but this is not why the rule was put into place. He's telling his defense to get in the stance.
The letter of the law and the spirit of the law.
Spirit of the law. That is embarrassing to college basketball, and this is a tremendous game to just give the home team 2 points like that. Now look, it's the second tee that's been called on that exact same ruling, but in this particular case, we're able to get it on video. That's a bad call.
Once again, they turn it over, trying to get it in.
Lamar Smith with the takeaway. Smith to the goal with the left hand.
Ooh, what a tough play. Bruce looking for a foul. Oh, boy.
We need a Bruce cam, don't we? I'll tell you what, I'd be interested to see who's creating a greater lather of sweat. He or Sean Miller.
A foul called underneath. So Derek Brown will shoot free throws. And Bruce Pearl looks like he's still mentally recovering.
And again, remember, 20 of 23 from the free throw line. It's really been a difference. Tennessee's killing them on fast break points, and Xavier's making all their free throws.
Yeah, here we go.
Brown has 11. He is 8 of 8 at the free throw line. And the lead back up to 4. Chisholm for 3. The tip no good by Childress.
That's absolutely just amazing. That was a tough shot for Childress. Chisholm.
Brown down the lane. Offensive foul call and a late whistle. Chris Lofton came up and took the charge. The ball was bouncing around in the rim by the time the whistle came.
That was the answer to the technical right there.
And
that was the give back.
Speaking of a whistle that certainly impacted this game, the technical called a moment ago against Bruce Pearl for stepping out of the coach's box. Hoop, Bob. Well, Reese, it's been a great game here in Cincinnati. Xavier with a 4-point lead, and the challenge always seems to be just getting the ball inbounds against Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee pressures the inbounds, and the rest of the way, look for them to try and get a steal. Now, as you watch Xavier, what they're trying to do is simply post up and hold a hand out in hold position and get the basketball. Now, while that works occasionally with some of your bigger offensive players, if I'm Drew Lavender and I'm a guard who shoots a good percentage from the free throw line, and I have that type of speed and quickness, you have to create contact, actually generate the contact, and then break out and demand the basketball. Simply posting up is not good enough when you're a point guard.
And as you know, Tennessee 182 times last year turned people over on the inbounds. That is just amazing. 30 times they made people call a timeout, and 20 times they got a 5-second call.
And they've made Xavier call a timeout here, as well as getting 2 steals off the inbounds.
Burrell just called for his third. Both teams now with 9 team fouls, so this is a 1-and-1 for Lofton, but the last 1-and-1 will shoot the rest of the way. It's 2 free throws for the duration, and Lofton connects on the front end.
And it's amazing. Tennessee's up 20-2 on fast break points, 24-17 off turnovers, and 40-32 in the paint, and still they're losing the game.
Bruce Pearl is still arguing that out of the coach's box technical foul he received. In and out on the second free throw.
Once you get it,
point lead.
Excuse me, Bobby. Once you get it, you want your money's worth. That's for sure. So they're not going to call another on you real quick.
He's simply arguing letter of the law, intent of the law. That's what he's explaining.
It is.
Lavender penetrates. Rejected, pinned by Tyler Smith. The bounce pass in transition, thrown down by Ramar Smith.
22-2 fast break points.
How about that block? He pinned it on the glass.
This is a fantastic basketball game. Just fantastic.
Now Duncan's hesitant on the jump shot.
I think he's hurting a little bit.
Anderson instead has it swatted away and recovered by Tyler Smith. A nice play again by Ramar Smith to create the steal. Lofton pulls up. Offensive rebound to Chisholm, calls timeout as he goes to the floor. Not granted. He walks with the basketball as he fell to the floor.
Good call.
On his way down, he tried to call timeout.
Duncan is leading the game now. I think he banged his knee. I don't think he's quite 100%.
I don't think that was a good call.
No?
Now, supposedly when you land, as long as you don't get up, it's not traveling.
So Jason Love has come back on for Josh Duncan. Two and a half minutes to go.
Oh, missed him.
Raymond lost it. It stays with Xavier in spite of the fact that Juwan Smith was able to knock it off of the thigh of B.J. Raymond. That's what he was claiming.
Yeah, no, it looked like it did hit off Raymond's thigh.
That's probably why he didn't get a tee.
Raymond, a lazy giveaway, and Tyler Smith with the steal. And the lay-in. Tennessee back on top.
How about Tyler Smith? The big block created a transition for his teammate, the dunk for Ramar Smith. Now he gets one of his own.
Tennessee has shown tremendous grit.
Now let's see what Xavier's made of. These are the type of games that put them in the NCAA tournament last year.
Lavender lost it. Lofton knocks it into the backcourt.
Oh,
diving on the floor.
Hustle.
Ramar Smith.
Oh, my goodness. Ramar Smith dove flat out.
See, again, if you dive, as long as you get up, even if you slide on the floor, it's not supposed to be a traveling violation unless you try and get up. What a play. I love that.
Brilliant.
And now Ramar Smith lets some time wind down. 15 on the shot clock. Tennessee up by a point.
Xavier's just been sloppy their last two possessions.
Shot clock down to 8. Lofton from near mid-court.
Oh, my goodness.
A putback, though, on the baseline by Smith. Scored the goal. Tyler Smith found the loose ball off the miss from Lofton, and it's a 3-point lead for Tennessee.
Fouls, forever attacking, forever getting right up in your snoot, making you react, and that leads to baskets just like they got.
Well, they got away with one there. Chris Lofton did not need that shot with 5 seconds on the shot clock.
No, but there's Tyler Smith again.
Yep.
2 big plays defensively, 2 big buckets offensively.
Remaining in the paint. The turnaround off the backboard, no good for B.J. Raymond.
What a rebound.
Tennessee has the ball in a 3-point lead. They leave Chisholm alone. Sean Miller not calling a timeout. He only has 1 remaining. And Lavender draws the foul. He'll shoot 2.
Very good move.
You know, part of playing against Tennessee is I think they run so many numbers at you and they play at this unbelievable pace. I think Xavier's tired. I think these are tired, lazy plays that Tennessee's been able to take advantage of. And I mean, Drew Lavender doesn't just turn the basketball over. I think fatigue has become a factor, and the depth of Tennessee has taken over as part of this game.
Excellent point. Absolutely excellent point.
That free throw from Lavender breaks a 9-0 Tennessee run in the last 2.5 minutes of the game.
An opportune time.
Big free throws from the senior. Jason Love comes back on as Raymond will go to the bench for Xavier.
Howell, of course, in for Ramar Smith. Ramar Smith, not a good free throw shooter.
Xavier needs a stop. And they might need to give the foul now, and they do.
Not a bad one.
Now they'll try and lengthen the game here.
Right. It's only a 5-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock, so you can't play straight-up defense down 3 there.
You're absolutely right. Got to go get them. Make them beat you on the line.
Tyler Smith came into today as a 70% free throw shooter.
I think if Xavier scores the next possession, they will then take a timeout. That would be my guess.
It's a two-possession game now. Raymond back in for Love. So the shooter back on the floor.
Very important not to foul if you're Tennessee when you're pressing. Right. The clock is your friend. And if you foul, you don't want to allow Xavier to score points with the clock not moving.
And needless to say, stating the obvious, Xavier must score on this possession.
Bruce Pearl just called timeout. So Tennessee now down to their final timeout as well with 34 seconds remaining.
Xavier basketball program and Modern Office Methods. Modern Office Methods is a proud partner of Xavier Athletics.
So now you wonder for Xavier, needing baskets and getting stops. First of all, first things first, if you're Sean Miller, who do you run a play for here in the last 30 seconds?
I think you get the ball to Drew Lavender, and you allow him to create off a high screen in transition. The problem is you cannot lose focus on how difficult it is to just get the basketball in bounds. One turnover, game is essentially over. So get the ball to your point guard, allow him to create for Raymond or for one of the other shooters on the perimeter.
I think Burrell is a key guy, too, because he's a senior. He's been down the road. And, again, very, very important possession for the Musketeers.
Down 5 at this point. When do you start worrying about maybe running a play to try and get a good look from 3?
Well, right now.
Yeah,
I mean, right now you go for a 3, a timeout, and then a quick foul.
That's it.
I wish you were my assistant. I'd have won a lot more games if you were with me, buddy.
You did all right.
25 seconds to go. Burrell picks up his dribble.
So this is really helpful for the Volunteers.
Lavender launches a 3 off the front rim. Chisholm the rebound. And now you have to give the foul quickly if you're Xavier. And they finally do. 15 seconds to go. Well, Tennessee is on the verge of coming into a building where Xavier has won 14 straight and taking a lot of punches here in the second half. But their hustle in the last 2.5 to 3 minutes of this game could prove to be the difference.
They're beyond the verge. This one's over.
Yeah, absolutely. And a very good win. A very good win against a game Xavier team who has that big win against Indiana outside of Chicago, a neutral site game. Now, Xavier, last year, I don't think the A-10 was strong enough to lose 4 or 5 games and still get in the NCAA tournament without solid non-conference wins. This year, my belief is it is. Rhode Island, UMass, good wins on the road like at Syracuse.
Charlotte's playing well.
Now, we've seen Dayton. You know, Dayton is a very good club. We're going to see them against Pitt.
Chisholm another rebound with 5 seconds to go. Tennessee will close the game on a 13-2 run and beat Xavier 82-75. And J.P. Prince, no question, is our Wrangler 5-star player of the game. 23 points. But it was Tennessee's hustle down the stretch that made as much of a difference as Prince did.
Where else would I have rather been than right here? Great game.
I thought Tennessee's defense and their reaction to the Bruce Pearl technical was the stuff of an SEC championship level finish to this basketball game.
Well, Tennessee takes a major step forward. A big win on the road, 82-75 here at Xavier. Up next on ESPN2, it's ESPN's Bowl Breakdown Special. And for more on this game, you can join us shortly on ESPN News for Post-Game Extra. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. So long from Cincinnati.
Down special presented by Pizza Hut alongside my good friends, willing companions and partners, Lou Holtz and Mark May. I'm Reese Davis. We've already had the bowl games get started on this day, guys. In fact, 3 of them on the family of networks. The first one this afternoon in Birmingham between Cincinnati and Southern.
One of the big games today, another game with 2 ranked teams against each other, Xavier and Tennessee. The highlight is getting edited as we speak. We'll have that for you shortly, but you should know this. The Vols win it 82-75, despite the fact that their senior All-America candidate, Chris Lofton, continues to struggle. Just 9 points for him, but still, they get the victory.
Well, thanks very much. Welcome back here to the Cintas Center, a place that Xavier had won 14 straight games until today. Tennessee comes in and on the verge of going into the SEC season. Boy, did they get a big win.
As 3 Dog Night said, let me catch my breath. This was an unbelievable basketball game. really a difference to me was the 21 turnovers by Xavier, averaging only 14 or 12 a game, had 14 in the second half, Dougie.
Did you go 3-dog night on us already?
Yeah.
Well, I've never been to Spain. I'd surely like to get there. I have to say how impressed I was with Tennessee, the resilience. They got an untimely technical foul. They weren't playing particularly well offensively. Chris Lofton essentially a no-show at the offensive end, and yet somehow they manned up defensively, got some timely steals, a timely block shots, and they were able to use those turnovers and the added energy. I felt like they were in better condition than Xavier. One reason was they put 9 deep and really got after Xavier the entire game, and Xavier seemed to self-destruct before our eyes with turnovers that they just don't normally make. I think fatigue played as big a factor in this win as anything.
And 26-2 in fast break points made all the difference in the world.
And look at the numbers in steals, 15-3. Now, Tennessee, #1 in the country coming into today, averaging about a dozen steals per game. Today it's 15. And when you look forward for both of these programs, I'm sure we're all expecting that these are two teams that are very solidly going to be in the NCAA tournament. But, you know, this is the kind of win for Tennessee that could spur you on to some great things in the SEC.
We talked about it in the beginning of the program. You got to go on the road and beat good people, or at least play good people, and Tennessee has done that.
Yeah, road win at this level of basketball is a quality win. Helps the SEC, which has been struggling in the non-conference, the kind of by proxy. Tennessee beats so-and-so, you beat Tennessee, eventually you get that win on your resume. But this is huge for Tennessee. Now you got to win over West Virginia, I think a tournament team. Yes, a loss to Texas, but they're a top 5 team. And now a win at the Cintas Center against Xavier, a tournament-level team, whether they get it or not. A-10 very tough this year, but wow, what a win for Tennessee, considering they're doing it without Duke Cruz and considering they really didn't get great performances from Juwan Smith and, of course, from Chris Lofton.
Yeah, what a win for Tennessee. And Bruce Pearl, the head coach of the Tennessee Volunteers, who Doug caught up with.
Bruce, a tremendous win on the road, a 13-2 finish. What do you think the difference was down the line?
Our guys were just talking in the huddle, Doug, about manning up. You know, it's us versus them. I thought late in the game, Xavier got a little fatigued, and I thought our guys were playing through that fatigue, but they made plays on the defensive end when it counted.
Yeah, you talk about making plays. Your 2 transfers, J.P. Prince in only his 3rd game, and Tyler Smith with the defense, running through passes, getting a couple steals. How much did they add to the win?
They're huge. I mean, they obviously make a huge difference and a great impact, and they're fitting in really in because you've already got a nice nucleus in there, Doug, and this is a confidence builder for our team. To go on the road, now this is 3 straight road wins for us, so we feel better about ourselves.
You realize your team saved you. You're a very bad boy. You get the technical foul for stepping over the coach's box line.
Over the line?
You were clearly over the line. Your team reacted with the 13-2 run.
They did, and they responded. You know, they did. They bailed me out. I was just imploring one of my players to get down a stance, and I think when they cross the line and they take away the passion, I wasn't even talking to the officials. And at that time in a score, so I mean, I gotta have a guy out there with his leg out like this, Doug, so that if at least I'd rather fall on my face than get a technical foul.
Well, maybe we'll get you a seatbelt for the next game.
No chance. I'm not gonna change the way I coach.
Congratulations on the win.
Appreciate it.
That's a big win for Tennessee. And I think for the sake of their program going forward, we need to find a way to bring Bruce out of his shell.
They need a get-back coach. That's what they need. You know how football, they have the get-back coach?
Right.
Maybe Bruce needs his own get-back coach.
Well, that's an amazing win, obviously, on the road for Tennessee. 14 straight. Xavier had 1 here at the Cintas Center, but that streak broken by the Vols as they win it on the road. Let's go back to you in the studio.
What to watch for in football tonight, if you can find it, the Cowboys and the Panthers.